Hi, I'm Emily Foster, a 32-year-old executive, and let me tell you, life has been one wild ride. It all started 2 years ago when my husband Jack and I decided we were ready to start a family. We thought it would be simple, but boy, were we wrong. Month after month, nothing happened. We tried everything, tracking ovulation, changing diets, even taking these strange herbs my friends swore by. But still nothing. Then finally, one day we got lucky. I'll never forget it. Two little pink lines on that pregnancy test. We were over the moon. But our joy didn't last. At our 12-week scan, the doctor couldn't find a heartbeat. Just like that, our world shattered. The miscarriage hit me harder than I ever expected. I felt broken, like my body had betrayed me. Jack was supportive, but I could see the pain in his eyes too. We were both lost, trying to pick up the pieces. And then my mother-in-law, Linda, decided it was the perfect time for a big birthday bash. Talk about terrible timing. But she insisted, claiming it would lift everyone's spirits. Yeah, right. So there we were, getting ready for this family dinner. I stood in front of the mirror, trying to convince myself I could get through it. You can do this, Emily, I repeated. It's just dinner. How bad could it be? Little did I know, it was about to be a total disaster. As we drove to Linda's, Jack squeezed my hand. You okay, babe? He asked, his voice gentle. I forced a smile. Yeah, I'm fine. Just, you know. He nodded. I know, we'll get through this together. When we arrived, Linda greeted us with her usual enthusiasm. Oh, darlings. So glad you could make it, she said, wrapping me in a tight hug. How are you holding up, dear? I'm okay, I lied, plastering on a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. That's when I saw him, Tom, Jack's brother. He was already 3 sheets to the wind, sprawled on a couch with a glass of whiskey in hand. Great, just what we needed. Well, Tom slurred, if it isn't the happy couple. How's life treating you too? I bit my tongue, forcing myself to stay calm. It was going to be a long night. As we sat down for dinner, the tension was thick in the air. Linda kept throwing me worried glances, while Jack's dad, George, was determined to keep his attention solely on his plate. So, Emily, Tom started again, his words thick with alcohol. When are you two going to give Mom and Dad some grandkids? Tick-tock. It felt like a punch to the gut. I forced myself to breathe, trying not to let the tears well up. Jack's hand tightened on my knee under the table. Tom, that's enough, Linda warned, her voice tight. But Tom wasn't done. I'm just asking. It's not like it's a secret. You've been trying. Maybe you're just not doing it right, huh? The tears I'd been holding back threatened to spill. This was exactly what I feared. Jack's face went red with anger, his grip on my knee tightening even more. Tom, seriously. Shut up, Jack growled. But Tom just laughed. Oh, come on, it's just a joke. Lighten up, you two. I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up abruptly, the screech of my chair against the floor cutting through the tension. Excuse me, I muttered, fleeing to the bathroom. Once inside, I splashed cold water on my face, trying to calm the storm building in my chest. I could hear raised voices coming from the dining room, and it felt like the walls were closing in. How was I going to survive the rest of this nightmare? I took a deep breath and forced myself to step back into the lion's den. The second I entered, every pair of eyes turned toward me. I pasted a smile on my face and sat back down. Everything okay, dear? Linda asked, her voice dripping with concern. Just peachy, I replied flatly. Tom snorted from across the table. Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, Emily, he slurred, his grin smug. How's that big jacketing job of yours going? Still pushing pencils and playing with pretty pictures. I gritted my teeth. It's going great, Tom. We just landed a major account last week. Oh wow, he drawled. I'm sure that's real fulfilling. Tell me, does it make up for not having a real family? Jack's hand slammed down onto the table with a force that made the plates rattle. That's enough, Tom. But Tom was on a roll. What? I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. When are you two gonna stop playing house and start taking on some real responsibilities? I could feel my face burning, my pulse racing. Our life choices are none of your business, Tom. Oh, touchy subject, huh? He leaned in, his breath heavy with whiskey. Having trouble in that department? You know, stress can really mess with fertility. Maybe if you weren't so focused on your career. Tom, please, Linda pleaded, her voice strained. This isn't appropriate dinner conversation. But Tom wasn't listening. I'm just trying to help. You two want kids, right? Or is this one of those career women don't need babies things? He looked at me with a sickening smirk. You know, maybe it's for the best. I mean, if you can't even carry a baby to term, maybe it's nature's way of saying you shouldn't be a mother. The room went dead silent. The weight of his words hit me like a physical blow. How dare he? How dare he? How dare you? I whispered, my voice trembling. I stood up so quickly my chair screeched against the floor. Without another word, I turned and fled the room. The days after that nightmare dinner were a blur of anger and hurt. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. It hung over me like a dark cloud. Jack tried to comfort me, but I could see he was struggling too. We were both broken in different ways. Finally, I called Rachel. We met up, and I spilled everything. Everything Tom had said, how he humiliated me, how he'd hurt Emma. Rachel's eyes went wide. Oh, Emily, I'm so sorry. What a complete jerk. I nodded, trying to fight back the tears. I can't let him get away with this, Rachel. Not just what he did to me, but how he treated Emma. It's not right. Rachel bit her lip, looking thoughtful. Actually, there might be something we can do. What do you mean? She leaned in close, her voice low. Okay, this is just between us, but I think Tom's been embezzling from the company. I nearly choked on my latte. Are you sure? Not 100%, but I've seen some weird transactions, things that don't add up. I just haven't found solid proof yet. My mind was racing. If we could find evidence. Rachel nodded. Exactly. We could take him down, Emily. For real. As I was leaving the coffee shop, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Linda. Emma left Tom. She's staying with her friend Julie. My heart sank. Poor Emma. Maybe I should have called Julie. Maybe I should have asked for Emma's number. My hands were shaking as I dialed her, my heart hammering in my chest. Hello? Emma, I said, my voice soft. It's Emily, Jack's sister-in-law. I heard what happened. Are you okay? There was a long pause, and when Emma spoke, her voice sounded small, exhausted. Not really, but I will be. We talked for almost an hour. Emma opened up about Tom's abuse, how he controlled her, manipulated her, and used her for his own gain. It made me sick to my stomach, hearing it all out loud. But there was more. There's more, Emma said, her voice quiet but steady. Tom's involved in some shady stuff at work. I don't know all the details, but I've overheard things, dealings that didn't sound legal. My heart started to race. This could be it. Emma, I know this is a lot to ask, but would you be willing to help us stop Tom? Another pause. Yes, she said, her voice firm. I'm done being afraid of him. In the weeks that followed, the three of us, Rachel, Emma, and I, became a well-oiled machine. Rachel dove into the company's financials, uncovering discrepancies and unexplained transfers. Emma provided dates, names, anything she could remember from Tom's shady dealings. And me? I documented everything, piecing it all together like an ugly, twisted puzzle. One night, Rachel leaned over her laptop, pointing to the screen. Look at this, she said. These transfers. They're going to offshore accounts. And look at the dates. I gasped. The dates lined up perfectly with Tom's lavish vacations, his new car, his expensive clothes. Emma nodded, her face tight. He always said it was from bonuses or smart investments. I should have known better. As we dug deeper, a pattern emerged. Tom wasn't just stealing to fund his flashy lifestyle. He had a gambling problem. A big one. He was using company funds to cover his losses, sinking deeper and deeper into the hole. This is it, I said, looking at the mountain of evidence we collected. This is how we take him down. Rachel squeezed my hand. Are you sure about this, Emily? Once we do this, there's no going back. I thought about that nightmare dinner, about all the pain Tom had caused. Not just to me, but to Emma, to the company, to everyone around him. I was sure. I'm sure. It's time Tom faces the consequences of his actions. We triple-checked everything before sending the evidence to the company's board and tipping off a journalist friend of Rachel's. A week later, we were at another family gathering, this time for Grandma Elizabeth's birthday. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Tom showed up late, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Jack and I were talking when he pulled him aside, his voice urgent. Jack, bro, can I talk to you for a sec? Jack glanced at me before nodding. Sure, what's up? Tom pulled him aside, but not far enough. I could hear every word. "I'm in a bit of a jam, man," Tom said, his voice low and almost desperate. "Just temporary, you know. But I was wondering if I could borrow some cash, just to tide me over." Jack hesitated. "How much are we talking?" 20 grand. 30 tops. I'll pay you back, I swear." I stood up, my voice calm but firm. "No, Tom. We're not lending you money." Tom's face darkened and he shot me a glare. "This isn't your business, Emily." "Actually, it is," I said, holding my ground. "Jack and I are a team, and the answer is no." Just then, the doorbell rang. Linda went to answer it, and I heard her gasp. 2 police officers stepped into the room. "Thomas Foster," one of them called. Tom's face went pale. "Yeah, that's me. What's this about?" "You're under arrest for embezzlement and fraud," the officer said. "You have the right to remain silent." As they led Tom away, one of the officers explained that an anonymous tip had led to a company investigation, uncovering extensive evidence of Tom's crimes. In the aftermath, the family was reeling. Linda approached me, tears in her eyes. "Emily, I'm so sorry. I should have stood up to Tom long ago. Can you ever forgive me?" I hugged her tightly. "There's nothing to forgive." We were all under his spell. George came over, his voice gruff with emotion. "You did good, kid. Real good. I'm proud of you." And Grandma Elizabeth? She just gave me a wink and a knowing smile. I had a feeling she'd seen through Tom long before any of us. A month later, I sat in a doctor's office, clutching Jack's hand. The sound of a strong, steady heartbeat filled the room. "Congratulations," the doctor said with a smile. "Your baby looks perfect." As we left the clinic, I couldn't stop smiling. "Can you believe it, Jack? We're really doing this." He kissed me softly. "I can. You're the strongest person I know. Emily, this kid is lucky to have you as a mom." Now, here's my question for you. If you were in Emily's shoes, would you have exposed Tom's crimes, knowing it could tear your family apart? Or would you have kept quiet to maintain family peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below.